Now on small streams, I like to use the Stalker Legend, one of the lightest fly rods in the world today. It's made using Mitsubishi and Toray graphite, so it's extremely light and extremely crisp. So its bounce back is incredible. So if we're trying to get underneath trees or right next to logs, its accuracy is pinpoint. Very, on the short cast, it's very responsive, but if you want to throw a big long line, even though that's only a 3 weight, it's got the power through the butt section to be able to do it. You might come across a big fish in a small stream as well. This is also going to be able to steer it around, but give you a lot of enjoyment on the smaller fish you're going to come across. So if you get a chance, have a look at the Stalker Legend. It's a rod you're going to love. Yep. Whoa!
Here comes. Yeah.
Whoa! Isn't it funny how a day pans out? G'day, I'm Gavin from Hurley's Fly Fishing and welcome to another episode of On the Fly. Today we're up in one of the many streams found on the way to Eildon up in northeastern Victoria. You've got the Stevenson, Rubicon, Akron, Little River. It's pretty well endless and plenty of access points along the way. We've just stopped off on one here and we're just going to work our way along the river as it goes. We're in February, which means it's quite hot and you're going to have a lot of insect activity. We're going to start off with my favourite, the rubber-legged stimulator, and that'll imitate like a grasshopper, which can be found pretty plentiful around at this time of year, but it'll also look like a big caddis or just something big and furry and getting away from them. So they're pretty aggressive towards it. So we're just going to throw it up to likely little spots in the hope that we can get a fish to take this. Now, a lot of these rivers don't have massive size fish, but what they lack in size, they make up for in aggression and in numbers. So you can have an awful lot of fun on these little rivers when they're out and about. So with a mixture of browns and rainbows, if they see that food, they've got to get it before their mate next to them does. So with light little rods, it's an awful lot of fun. I'm using a Stalker Glide in a 7'6" in a 2 weight, which is ideal for this light sort of fishing. Your presentation's obviously incredible with a 2 weight, but great fun too on these smaller fish. You're going to get them, from 6 to 10 inches is going to be the norm, and they're great fun on light little gear. We've just got to find a nice little hole there where they're home. Sometimes you will see them with good glasses. I use the Makos because I find they're the best. And you can see them when they're in little sunspots or just moving around in there, you can see them. Other times you're just prospecting. You'll have a nice little stick, a good hidey spot, and just throw that dry up there, let it drift along. And sure enough, they'll come out and take it. Not on that one though. So we'll just find there's plenty of little pools as you go along, and they're worth a cast on every single one. So even little pools like this, little runs here, you've got 6 inches to a foot of water. That's plenty to hold a nice little fish. And a couple of casts, if they haven't got it then, they're probably not there or not likely to take it. So just move on. Don't spend too much time in one bit of water because they are very aggressive on these tiny little streams. So if he's there, he'll get that first or second cast and then just move on. So your little grasshopper that with a lot of these paddocks around here, they get washed in, and once they get in that current, the fish can't resist them, so they work really well. So that's why that rubber-legged stimulator just works a treat in an area like this, because it looks so similar. You've got arms and legs, you've got colour, and they just tend to eat it. Nice little run there, and there's plenty of bubble lines all the way through it, but we'll just get up near the top and just let it work its way down. Don't go right up to the very top straight away. Just start at the back a bit, get a bit of a drift back here. See if you can't pick up a fish or two at the towards the middle and tail of the pool first, and then work your way up to that top spot, which is more than likely going to have your bigger fish. There we go, nice little fish in there. And they just can't resist. There's just a good bit of food in that stimulator. And once they see it, they just want to get it. And these are lovely little rainbow. And that's about the size you're going to get here. I mean, they're not monsters. And we'll just get him in the net. And I always do like to use a net on these, particularly these little fish. Keeps them in the water for a lot longer and protects them against getting bashed on these rocks a lot of the time as well. So we want to protect these fish and certainly look after them. These are lovely little rainbow, and they're very aggressive. Rainbows are probably less cautious than what the browns are. We'll just get him out. Hang on, mate. He's thrown that hook. A lovely little fish just the same, and that's ideal for these small little rivers there. Just a beautiful red stripe and rosy red cheeks. They can make little kids have a lot of fun, even the odd big kid as well. Perfect. Quite a few more up ahead too. So now we've just got that one out of that sort of middle area. There's still a good chance right up near the top of this tree for an even bigger fish to be. So don't just plough on to the next. He's looking at it, got it. Oh, and yeah, anyway. You can see him just follow down. Good glasses, it might not come on camera, but he's sussing it out and then grabbed it. Because he's facing me, I might have just ripped it out of his gob, but you're going to get plenty of opportunities, so you're not allowed to cry straight away, particularly on TV. They generally won't take it twice. So if he's taken that, he realised something wrong, he won't come up again, but there's just as likely to be another fish next to him as well. Right, nothing there now, but don't be afraid to really throw it right up into the trees. I mean, the worst thing is going to happen, you might lose the odd fly, but I know a couple of guys are probably happy with that as well. That's where the fish are going to be though, so bang it right up in there, get it in front of them, and you'd be surprised at what you can pull out of there. Lovely little pool here. You can see where it's just almost dammed, where that tree's fallen over. You've got some good depth. And as that water cascades, it gives it plenty of oxygen. Just where that flow is going to be, where it kicks in towards these the bushes here, is an ideal spot for that water to deflect, and that fish can sit on the easy side. So that's where you'd want a couple of casts. Even along here, right along this bank there's enough protection, and work your way up to where that tree's fallen. And on the other side of that, it's going to be some pretty ideal water. So we'll put up our trusty stimulator and see if we can't get one to like it just as well. A little run up here, just in that bubble line. You're just expecting a fish to be sitting there waiting for this to come over its head. And you've got to be ready to strike straight away like that. And I think there's times everyone, whoa, and say, a little, what's here, a little rainbow as well. Again, aggressive, different sort of colours there, but very aggressive towards that little fly. They just see it, and they're going to get it before somebody else does. Hang on, let's just get that fly out. Beautiful. And grow bigger. But I think with striking as well, like quite a lot of the time we'll say, once you see that, you've got to wait 1, 2, let him turn down before you set the hook. But I think with these smaller rivers, they're making a pretty quick decision. They're going to get it and they're straight back down, because it is like a fast little river and they're smaller fish. As soon as you see it, you just hook it straight away. I think if you're in slower water or perhaps bigger fish, you've got to wait till they close their mouth and go down. But most of the time on these rivers, see that, strike and go. One of the, like a big native yabby, the prickly back, they've got pretty good bend on their big claws, and they're pretty strong too. But they're the ones that we get, like we find around in these sort of rivers up here and stuff like that, with the big white claws. I'm not sure what that's in aid of, but certainly makes others steer clear. And they're just quite a good eating once they get pretty big as well, but they're pretty plentiful through here. Just one of the many things that you see when you're out here fishing. Give it a short little cast there like that. Short little line, hold the fly line out of the water if you can. Just allows that leader to drift down. Got him. And that's it, just a small little bit of water like that. I mean, it's easy to look up to that next little pool. Oh, and he's just come out then. But expect that that's where you're going to go. But there's going to be fish in this small little place as well. Just these short little runs. Just a couple of casts is all you need, and you can literally fish your way up a run like that. And if they get off, who really cares, you know? Like it's all about getting that cast right, getting him to take the fly, and then you're going to release him anyway. Great little run here, just off the little rapids up there, so plenty of oxygenated water. Nice little bubble line. And we'll work our way up. Oh! Main thing is they take the fly, that's all we're after. Oh! Just where you're expecting one, just where that water comes in, gets that little bit of depth, exactly where you're expecting a fish, but just didn't stay attached. We do come across logs like that. Obviously we can't do a normal overhead cast. Just turn that rod on the side and you can bang that right in under the log and get it right up into that current, pushing it down. And that can be the difference sometimes between getting a fish and not. If you can see there, that's the husk of a dragonfly larvae. So those big dragonflies, the big black ones you see flying around, that's the larvae, which you call a mud-eye. And the fish certainly love those. And they break free out of that husk and fly away. That's a mud-eye. Trout love them. Well, we've given it a good go up here. It's getting pretty warm. She's a bit over 30 degrees, so she's been hard work. The fish has still been pretty good though. They get up and hit that dry, so it's pretty good fun. But what we've got, I mean, the beauty of this area, you've got a stack of rivers and an evening rise coming up too. So we'll head back to our base at the Breakaway Twin Rivers Caravan Park, right on the Goulburn River. And that's ideal for that last hour of light where you get some amazing dunhatches and all the fish get up on them. So we can get back there, have a bit of a spell and get ready for that evening rise. Now, the Breakaway Twin Rivers Caravan Park is ideally situated in between Alexandra and Thornton, right on the Goulburn River. So from a fly fisherman's perspective, it's absolutely amazing. There's a boat ramp as well to put your boat in and go up and down when it's flowing pretty high.
And it's great to take up the kids. You've got a little pool there in the summer. They can really enjoy themselves and have a swim in safe surroundings, as well as a jumping pillow. I might be a little bit overage for that, not overweight, just overage. But there's great things like a tennis court and basketball and things like that to have a play around with. The cabins are ideal as well, and they're perfect for a couple of guys or a couple or a family and things like that. So great little eating area. Excellent cooking facilities, not that fishermen tend to need those too often, but great for throwing the kids into the bunk beds, or for whoever comes in second to bags the other room, which is a big double, which is ideal there as well. And not that fishermen need it, because we never smell anyway, but you've also got a lovely bathroom there, which is ideal to get all nice and beautiful, ready for your next day's fishing. But it also has, very important to fishermen too, when they get back late, is a microwave up there. You can always find something that you can cook up pretty quickly. And also, I guess after a long, hard day, you can whack on an on-the-fly DVD and watch it on the big screen. But that's what you're here for. For an outlook like that, absolutely perfect.
Now, the Breakaway Twin Rivers Caravan Park is perfect for this scenario. You fished all day, you need a bit of a spell, bit of a bevy, you get some decent crackers and cheese, and you can just sit here and wait for that evening rise to start. Have your rod at the ready, because when those heads start popping up, you're only literally a cast away from them.
Now, during the summer months, the Goulburn has really high flows, and it's world renowned for its backwater fly fishing. Some really big browns and rainbows get in these backwaters in search of food that's washed in and things like that, and they're an incredible adversary to tackle on fly gear.
Here it comes. Oh, nice. And that's perfect. And I've been to this spot before, and I reckon I've cast at this fish last time I was here. And trout are certainly territorial. So that's the one I would have been casting at literally a few weeks ago. Boy, beautiful little brown. And the Goulburn River is just an outstanding fishery, because, in summer, I mean, we're at 38 degrees now, and this water temperature is pretty cool, because it's coming out of the bottom of Eildon. And I'll just see if I can get this one in the net. Lovely little fish. So you're getting the nice chilled water from the base of Eildon, which they use for irrigation. We'll just get him in here. Hang on, Tiger. Perfect. Got a lovely little brown there of probably a couple of pound out of this lovely little backwater. And as I said before, last time I was here in this area, and I'd fished to him for probably an hour and got him to take once, and then couldn't get him to stay hooked up. And so to come back there and get him nearly first cast, pretty rewarding. So that's what it's about. So whenever you catch a fish and you put them back into these rivers, they go back to the same spot, so you can go back and catch them another time, or somebody else as well. So yeah, it's all good to bang one on the head if you're at a lake or something like that, but look after our trout in our magnificent Victorian rivers, and then they'll look after us. And a beautiful little brown. He was just in this backwater taking spent spinners and maybe little grasshoppers and things like that, but just in beautiful condition. Just a great fit little fish. And we won't keep him out of that water too long. It's gone right in there. Don't keep him out of the water too long. Beautiful little fun fish that he's got to be caught a lot of times. You don't want to bang that on the head. Plenty of go left in him. That's beautiful. And it's a great start to the Goulburn River. Getting down here, we're pretty warm, but we've got the evening, that wind will die off, and hopefully you can get a really good dunhatch or even some caddis and things like that. And yeah, it can really just come alive. The Goulburn's an amazing fishery. You've just got to take your time and really experience it, and you'll be surprised at what you can get out of it. And we've got to about 7 o'clock and the fish are just starting to rise now. You quite often will see, particularly on the Goulburn, a lot of snowflake caddis, which is like and they're very visual to us because they're bright white and they flutter around everywhere. The fish generally, and the larger ones in particular, don't eat those. There are some caddis which you'll get later on which are darker and they can focus on those. But what we're after, and for the risers that you'll see hopefully soon, will be on a mayfly, which is a almost like a darker brown or almost a red spinner or a dun, and that's what we're looking for, where the fish will be in the one spot and sort of rising. So we're hoping to see a few. They've just started like just here and further out towards the middle now, where there's some little gravel bars as well starting to feed there. So we want them to get, I suppose, more and more confident in feeding and more duns popping down, and put our fly in front of it and hopefully get a pull on the end of this rod. Just got one just rising away there. Just got to get that little white tuft that you can just sometimes hardly see, but you'll see a big splash, I hope anyway, when that fish gets it in his mouth.
And all fishermen are the same. You just want one last cast, and it was getting darker and darker, but you just never know. That next cast could be the one that lands that fish of a lifetime. And it was incredible, the amount of insects that were in the air, and it's probably obviously hard to see now, but it was literally covered in caddis and mayfly everywhere, and the fish were all over them, but I just couldn't get them to take my fly.
Well, I think it's a bit unfortunate, but every day has to end at some stage. But there's still a couple of fish just rising there, and as the sun goes down there, it's very hard to see. But yeah, the beauty about staying at a place like this at the breakaway is that you can fish, and you've got to walk all the way up there to get back to your cabin, and you might have a cold beverage or something like up there, and you can sit back and enjoy it. So yeah, sometimes I think it's just to take your time and really experience all that the area has to offer, and you're just going to love it.